welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing another book review, and I'm doing it on Twice Tempted by Jeaniene Frost. It's the second book in the Night Prince novel series, and it's the second one after this one, but it's like actually like the 12th book in like the whole vampire series that I'm reading. She just names the Night Huntress series, Night Prince, and Night Rebel series, so you know which books are about what people. And Night Huntress about Cat and Bones, and the Night Prince novels are about Vlad and Layla, and then the Night Rebel are about Ian and his significant other, which I don't know who it is yet because I haven't read those books, because the other books that Ian's been in, he hasn't had a significant other yet. So yeah, just so that makes sense. So now I'm going to talk about this book. It was awesome, guys. Okay, so the book, Twice Tempted, so good. Again, it was about Vlad and Layla, and it started where the other one ended. So they were in a relationship. They were happy, boyfriend, girlfriend. Then she started realizing she was falling madly in love with him, and remembered his words of basically saying, I'm not going to fall in love with you, I'm not capable. And so she asked him if that was really true, and he didn't really say anything. And she's like, you could at least put a toilet in your bathroom for me, just do little things to show me that maybe you could be open to that in the future. Like, I don't expect it right away. But he basically just wouldn't answer her and was just like, yeah, but I don't need a toilet, and I don't need this, and I don't need that change that you're asking for. And so then she was just like, well, I deserve better. I deserve at least a chance at love and forever happiness. And I know I'm falling for you, so I'm not going to settle for less. And so she just broke up with him and left, especially because he wouldn't even answer her, really. He was just very cold and set in his ways. And I think it was just fear, but also, yeah. And so she left, and he let her leave, and she was taken back to meet up with the circus and Marty. And he got another girl to replace her in their act, but he's like, stay with me, we'll find another place for you, and you find another job or whatever. He was getting ready to throw that other girl out, but she was really young, and she was like, no, you can't do that. So she was going to come up with her own act and stuff. And while there, she saw this vampire who tried to make her forget she saw her, but she didn't realize she had vampire blood in her, so mind work didn't work. And she didn't realize that was Frankie, and so she ended up, this other vampire blew up the trailer with Marty and Frankie, and she thought Marty died, but later found out he didn't, but this other girl did. And he thought Layla died. And her stage name is Frankie. Like after Frankenstein. Anyway, so she was devastated, and he was devastated, and he went straight to Vlad to tell him, like call him, but like this happened, Layla died and stuff. And with that, Vlad got on the first plane to come to see her dead body, because he was going to raise her as a ghoul. He wasn't going to let her just stay dead, because he really did love her. He just wouldn't admit it to himself, let alone to her. But that really made him realize it. And she thought Marty died. And Maximus, Vlad's right-hand man that has a thing for her, saved her from the fire. And he kept saying, like, what if Vlad did it? What if Vlad tried to kill you because you humiliated him, and then you broke up with him, and then you left? And it was because she thought he was proposing to her, when he was just offering her a ring he offers to everyone when he's going to turn them into a vampire to be part of his line. And he didn't expect her to say no to that, but he also didn't expect her to expect he was going to propose to her. And so, like, that all happened in the beginning before she left. And so she just was like, yeah, if there's not going to be more, I can't do it. And so anyway, he made her think that maybe Vlad was behind it. And because she humiliated him in front of like a lot of important vampires and broke up with him and just left. And no one had ever broken up with him. He always broke up with his ex-girlfriends. And she kept trying to track who did it. The guy who made the bomb was killed by a vampire. She knew it was a girl, but she could never see her face. And later we found out it's because she cast a spell to protect herself that way. So Frankie could never see her face. But then later on, they get captured. And it's by someone who wants them alive and is paying other vampires to get her, basically. And they just take Maximus because he was with her. And he kept trying to like sleep with her before they got captured, but she was like, no, because she's in love with Vlad. She has no interest in him that way. But then she has to like reach out to Vlad, who's been looking for them once he saw the dead body that was assumed to be hers. That wasn't her, and he knew it wasn't her. And she was visiting him in her sleep, and she thought it was just dreams, but it was real. And so he knew she was alive, and he was looking for her, Maximus, and he was so mad, felt betrayed by Maximus. And well, he was betrayed by him. And then she reached out to him when she killed all the guys who kidnapped them on the boat, and he asked Mercari to come help him. And they rescued the people on the boat, and he even took Maximus and took the liquid silver out of him, and kept his promises to her about him, but he basically was going to lock him up for centuries. But he wasn't going to kill him or torture him. And he took them all back to his place, and he had gotten her sister and father again for their own safety. And he basically told her how he felt about her, and he showed her the toilet in his bathroom and proposed to her, and she said yes. And they got married right away, and they were so happy. She had done some spying with Kat, actually, well, before Kat and Bones left. And she realized someone had been in the control room that wasn't supposed to be, and it was one of her human friends. That was Food. And so she was going shopping with her sister and this friend as covert. And then when she touched her, she realized she'd been mesmerized. And by who? It was Shrapnel, and he was the one driving them. He realized she knew right away that he was the one that betrayed them, and he drove off and tried to kill her. But luckily she was able to keep herself alive enough, and then her sister helped save her. But when Vlad got there, she basically bled out, finished bleeding out in his arms. And so when he bit her, when he gave her his vampire blood, because she had already bled out first, like all the way, when he gave her his vampire blood, it started to change into a vampire, and he didn't realize that, so it was like an accident. And she changed into a vampire, and she saw her dead mother, actually, when she died. So then she woke up as a newborn and locked up and stuff, but then he let her out, and basically when he found out her sister saved her, he had her lick his blood, and was like, you'll be part of my line, and people will have to answer for doing anything to you. And so, but her dad was mad about it. But then he explained to her about how we need to get married vampire way, so that it's recognized in the vampire world. And they thought her powers would go away as a new vampire, but they didn't, and they're even stronger than they've been. And she was very adamant on helping him find who this girl is that has been trying to kill her. And they find out it's Cynthia, and that's his ex. And he'd been broken up with her for a few years, but they were together for like 30, and found out that she actually practices the dark magic, and she had bewitched him all that time that he was with her to be with her, because she wanted to be with someone really strong, but because he was so strong, it was hard for her to bewitch him, and he eventually got out of it on his own without realizing, and he was really mad when he found out she had taken his free will against him, like away from him, and now she was jealous and trying to kill his now wife, and so they both track her down, but then they find out she's also working with the previous guy in the other book that got away, that's been trying to kill Vlad for years, like centuries. And so yeah, and so she's with him, and they're both like scorned by Vlad, so they're trying to kill Vlad, and she could care less about Shrapnel, but Shrapnel is gonna be killed or tortured for centuries because he betrayed Vlad, whether he was bewitched or not. He done enough bad that he has to pay for it. And he let Maximus out because it was his wedding present to Layla. Because he's like, I'll grant you anything. That was what she wanted. But she basically said, like, I don't want to see you again. Like, I'm married to Vlad and I love Vlad. And you did ultimately betray him, even though you saved my life. But because you saved my life, I let you out. So yeah, so that's basically where it ended and what happened, and I can't wait for the third Vlad one and Layla. I'm excited. The next one I'm reading right now is this one. It's Up from the Grave. It's the book in between the last one I read and the next Vlad one. It's the next one in the series, so it's the one I'm reading right now. I'm like chapter 9, and it's the last, well, not the last, but it's Cat and Bones novel. It's the last novel, Cat and Bones one, but it's not the last one. Like, there's another novella one, which is just like a short story, but longer than just a plain ebook. So yeah, so I'm reading this one, and it's real good so far. So yeah, I hope you like this video. I hope you read these books in the series. It's amazing. And I hope you subscribe, hit the like button, ring the bell, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.